So I think one of the most interesting aspects of Japanese culture for me is the fact that when in the tradition of Shinto shrines, when people built a shrine, it was often for people who were defeated on the losing side, and I think this is one of the most important aspects of Japanese culture. For example, the tale of Heike describes the falling of the house of Heike in the great war between Heike and Genji. So it was the tale of Heike was not written to glorify the winning side, which was the house of Genji. It tells the really sad and poignant story of how the house of Heike came to their demise. It tells us that the winning side wins not because they are virtuous or because they are right. It's just the intricate turn of history that favors one side over the other. Nothing else. So good-natured people can also lose when you throw yourself into this strange thing that is called history. So the tale of Heike tells us that the Heike people were good people with good intentions, with idealisms and friendships and love and so on, but they lost all the same. And it tells us the story of this really beautiful house. So I think this probably tells us a lot about Japanese aesthetics. And when traditionally Japanese people built a shrine, it was often to commemorate those people who lost their lives and who perished. And probably the act was partly came due to some fears of superstitious fears that the defeated people might come back as ghosts and do some havoc to the winning people. So there could have been some practical aspects as well. People were afraid of the spirit of the defeated people, so that they tried to bargain with the defeated spirits, so that hey, we're gonna build a shrine for you, so please don't come back and haunt us, that kind of stuff. So psychologically there might have been some self-serving purposes, but I really think it's a beautiful tradition to commemorate the lost side, the losing side of the story, in terms of the shrine building and stories and so on, because it strikes a beautiful balance in the history of the nation. Because as I said, it's not always the case that the right or virtuous side would win, which I'm afraid is the premise of many cultures around the world. The Japanese culture is not built on that assumption. So the fact that Tale of Heike tells us the experiences of the losing side, and the fact that the shrines have been often built to commemorate and give solace to the sorrows of the defeated people. I think this is something that we should always remember when we think about the history of Japan. And I don't want to forget this aspect personally when I live in today's world, because in today's world too often because of this ideology of free market the winning side is often glorified, and the losers are often nullified because they are perceived to be have possessed uh, not so good quality, because they lost because they didn't try hard enough, and this kind of attitude is rampant in the world today. But I don't think that actually tells us the whole story.